Welcome back, and we continue to keep our focus on that big order anticipated from the Varanasi District Court. In just few minutes from now, we're expecting that order to come out at 2:30 p.m. And ahead of that order, there are proper arrangements that have been made at the Varanasi District Court. Getting you all the details, my colleague Pranshu Mishra, that there is heavy security deployment at the court. Lawyers from both sides are inside the court right now. Roughly about 58 people have been allowed inside the courtroom because there's limited space. You also have a lot of journalists and lawyers, and of course some curious bystanders who want to be inside the courtroom. So in scenarios like these, there are only very limited number of people who go inside. Pranshu Mishra continues to track all the developments from the ground. Pranshu, let's talk about the security arrangements. You said that this time there are adequate security arrangements, but it's not a heightened one like we saw the last time. So far seems peaceful and under control. 2:30 p.m. is when we're expecting the order to come out.
Well, Anusha, see, it's a brief order, and it's not like the moment when the Advocate Commissioner's survey was ordered or the Advocate Commissioner's survey report was being submitted. So in the legal parlance, in the legal language, it is just another chapter as far as the larger case is concerned. It is one aspect that has been raised during the trial of the case by the Hindu side on which the court has to rule. The larger case is still about that whether the Hindu litigants, the five Hindu ladies, the petitioners in this case, whether they will get this daily right of daily worship at of Shringar Gauri, the engravings which are on one of the walls of the Gyanvapi Mosque. That is the larger case. We'll have to see what court decides, but as of now what we can tell our viewers is that the lawyers from both the sides, they have reached inside the court. We are also inside the court premises at the moment, and in next 10-12 minutes we'll probably get the order from the court, and the court has to decide that whether it feels fit that this matter should be handed over for some sort of a scientific investigation, or else that the court can say that since a matter of similar nature is already pending before the High Court, so let the higher court first decide and then the lower court takes a call. What is that the court is going to say, that suspense would be out, I think, in next few minutes from now.
2 minutes from now. Pranshu, one more question to you. This is worship of Ma Shringar Gauri by 5 Hindu women. That's the suit we're talking about. The other one, which is about the Lord Vishweshwar Mahadev, which is pending, the 1991 suit is pending before the High Court, you pointed out. Then on what grounds has the Hindu side asked for a scientific investigation of what they say is a revered Shivling inside the mosque complex? What are their reasons that they have cited before the court? Because we have heard the objection of the Muslim side, but what are the reasons of the Hindu side?
Well, Anusha, this case right from day one, it has been meandering like a river. So the original case was like pursuing that original petition that whether 5 women, Hindu women, have a right of worship or not. Then suddenly the Advocate Commissioner's probe was ordered, and even before the court could take a call on the Advocate Commissioner's report, even before the Hindu and the Muslim side could get into arguments and counter arguments over the findings in the Advocate Commissioner's report, the Court of Additional Civil Judge, it passed a one-sided order on the petition filed by the Hindu side, claiming that Advocate Commissioner has found out an area which looks like an ancient Shivling, and that entire area was sealed. Since then, this entire debate has meandered to an entirely different level. Now we are talking less about the original petition, right of worship of Ma Shringar Gauri, but the focus is more on what that structure actually is, whether it is a Shivling or it is a fountain. The fresh petition that was filed by the Hindu side seeking a scientific investigation, that is also related to the determining the nature of this object which has been found and which still, as per the Muslim side's claim, remains unanswered because the actual debate on the Advocate Commissioner's finding has still not been done. That is what the Muslim side has said in the court, that let us first debate on the findings of the Advocate Commissioner's report. Let us first decide what does Advocate Commissioner actually refers to as far as this disputed structure is concerned, and then come to the question of scientific investigation or carbon dating or ASI probe. Therefore, we are saying that today the matter before the court is something different from that of the original original petition about the worship of Shringar Gauri. It is about that a structure found during the court investigation, during the Advocate Commissioner's probe, whether it is a Shivling or it is not a Shivling.
Pranshu, this Advocate Commissioner's report, there were bits and parts of it that came out on social media, some video footage that was leaked. Officially, has it been given to all the parties?
Yes, the Advocate Commissioner's report has been given to all the parties. But remember, Advocate Commissioner's report was not about a final judgment on the nature of that place. It was basically about assisting the court to determine what that structure is or what that premises is, whether the petition of 5 women is justified or not. And therefore, the Muslim side has been saying that yes, we all have got the copies. Now let all the parties sit on debating over this report. Let us place arguments and counter arguments on every point mentioned in this report. And then on the basis of it, the court should decide that whether that structure is a fountain or it is a shivling. That is also what they have said now. And now we have to see what the court has to finally say, keeping the arguments, the counter arguments from both the sides.
Ananya, my colleague who tracks the Supreme Court, is also with us on the broadcast. Ananya, it is important to note that when the matter reached the Supreme Court, the honorable judges on the bench said that we need to protect the structure which the Hindu side says is a revered shivling. And they had given those orders to effect that till the time the matter is resolved, the wuzu-khana needs to be sealed. Could you also remind our viewers what were the important observations and comments that were made by the judges in that crucial order of the Supreme Court?
Well, definitely the matter is still pending before the Supreme Court of India, and remember it had placed the matter for hearing post-October, because the court had said that it will only hear the matter after actually the district judge decides on the Order 7 Rule 11 application of the Muslim side, which has clearly now been dismissed by the district judge, and now appeals against it would be pending in the Allahabad High Court, and then the matter would again reach the Supreme Court. But when the matter was being heard, it was a bench headed by Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, which had made a clear categorical observation that there is, I think, no bar under, and this is what Justice Chandrachud had said, that I think there is no bar under Section 3 of the Places of Worship Act that stops from judging the religious characteristic of a place again. And in fact, this was a very, very crucial observation that was made by, in fact, Justice Chandrachud when this matter was being heard. It had also protected, in fact, the structure that was found during the Advocate Commissioner's survey. And now, today the matter, the bone of contention that remains is whether carbon dating would be allowed or not, because there are certain apprehensions with regards to it. First is that can a carbon dating be done on a non-living structure? Because carbon dating usually involves oxidation process that is to be followed, and then the carbon age, the archaeological age of a particular structure is judged. So would it be possible to do it on this particular structure? Secondly, there is an apprehension that during this carbon dating process, the structure may get damaged. So the Hindu side, who believes it to be a shivling, if at all this would be in fact damaged, then it would hurt the religious feelings of the Hindu sentiment. That would also be anxiety of the court when it would deciding this particular matter, and whether or not there is any other scientific methodology that can be used in order to judge the archaeological age of this particular structure, to which particular age does this structure belong to, and what era did this structure come from. So it would very, very clearly provide a scientific basis to the Advocate Commissioner's report.
And whether that happens today or not, can that be allowed or not, is the order that we are expecting. It's already 2:33, so in few minutes from now we'll have that order. The lawyers from both sides are already present inside the courtroom. Pranshu Mishra, as he's reporting, that about 58 people have been allowed inside the courtroom. Pranshu, I'm coming back to you. Like a meandering river, as you very rightly described it, this case has seen several twists and turns. From the point of seeking a right to worship Ma Shringar Gauri, a plea made by 5 women, to saying that, you know, there's a revered shivling inside the mosque complex and you need to, there needs to be some kind of scientific investigation to establish that. The case has taken a lot of twists and turns, as I said. But this is essentially about establishing that not just Ma Shringar Gauri, there is actually a shivling inside the mosque complex. And if there is a shivling inside the mosque complex, then the religious character of the so-called mosque, as told by the Hindu side, is not really its religious character. That's the core of the case here.
Yes, that's right. And Anusha, you know, if you analyze all the cases which are going on in this case, including the 1991 case, you will find a gross similarity between the two.
Yep.
The 1991 petition actually says that the shivling or the Kashi Vishwanath shivling which is being worshipped at the moment is not the it's not the Jyotirling, it's not the self-incarnated shivling.
Yes.
It is somewhere different. And what these people want to actually say is that the structure which has been found right now, about which they claim is an ancient shivling, could be the actual Lord Vishweshwar Mahadev shivling, and therefore the demand of scientific investigation in the case of Shringar Gauri actually resonates and gels down with the demand for the SI probe in the original case. And therefore many people feel, who have been observing this entire matter, they feel that investigation orders in this case...
Pranshu, I'm sorry I'm interrupting you. I'll come back to you. There's a reaction of a lawyer that we're getting from the court complex. Let's go to that.
आप इसको किस नजर से देखते हैं, उसके बाद की प्रोसीडिंग को क्या देखेंगे? क्योंकि आपने
निश्चित रूप से कोई जो हमारा दावा है, कोई प्रार्थना पत्र है, यदि वो साइंटिस्ट चीजों से साबित हो जाता है, जैसे यदि कोई चीज प्रक्रिया यदि साइंटिफिक एनालिसिस से चीज